Round 10, Zandvoort. Welcome everyone to TFL Season 5, Round 10. For already the 10th round this season, time has flown by as we are in Q1. 17 and a half minutes on the clock as the Ferraris are first out on the track and also Ono going out onto the track now. Borrell in the Ferrari, still a championship leader, coming out of the pit lane now. And he'll be looking to extend his championship lead here today. First he'll have to qualify well enough to start in the points and to end in the points. Let's turn on the track map. Data and telemetry. Of course, the Dutch dunes here at Zandvoort. And it is a difficult track to overtake at, so qualifying is absolutely crucial here. 17 drivers, so 2 will be knocked out here of qualifying 1. As almost everyone, yes, everyone is out of the pits, going for their first runs here in Q1. And if I have to guess, I think it's probably going to be an Alfa Romeo that will be eliminated here. Maybe with... I don't know what Mitch can do around this track. I'm interested in seeing what Mitch can do around here. Jari van Bussel, long-time championship leader, has qualified in P13 a lot, so has to put in a good performance around here to not be knocked out of qualifying 1. Very weird to say that. Our old championship leader looking to set a lap time good enough for Q2 as it is starting to rain. It has started to rain here, and that means that explains why everyone is out of the pit lane. Everyone needs to set a lap time as quickly as possible. Oh, I think Mitch has invalidated his lap. And that is exactly what you don't need to do. Because when it is going to rain, the track conditions will worsen. As there's a Red Bull off as well. Is that Sven? Or is it Black Box? I think it's Black Box. If the track conditions worsen, you might not be able to set a quick enough lap time to go into Q2. Borrell has set the quickest lap time up to now, beaten by a Ferrari teammate Jagizan. Luke has set the lap time, Sven has set the lap time, Ono set an 11.3 with Joey at 12.3. Is in the danger zone, definitely Joey. Kaya has settled in between Jagizan and Borrell. The Mercedes of Davy coming over the line now. And then it's the Alpine of Frankie. Frankie going to be 7. Slowest of all, Joey. And then Jerry. Mitch hasn't set the lap time. Fruitful is going to set the lap time in just a few moments time. The Mercedes of Henry 110.9. Fruitful goes at 110.8. 1/10 faster than Henry. And at this moment in time, only Mitch hasn't set a lap time because he has invalidated his lap. He is going into the pit lane. Well, hopefully for him it will stay dry enough and he is retired. So he is definitely out of qualifying. Black Box has set a 26.1 because of his mistake. That means surely he is in the danger zone. Marco is in the danger zone as well. There Marco can go quicker, I'm sure of that. He's in the middle sector now, and you can just see that he finds it difficult to turn the car into every corner he goes into, and he has backed off. Yeah, he has backed off, so he's not going to improve. 112.3, he's in the danger zone. Black Box, will he go faster than 112.3? Oh, he does. So Mitch is out. I think Marco is out as well, because the conditions will only get worse from here. The only chance for Marco is if he continues on his way. I don't think he will, because he's not pushing his ERS. He will go into the pit lane now. And that means we have our two drivers eliminated here in Q1. Marco and Mitch, if the conditions won't get better. Well, both DRA guys are out. Joey through into Q2 for the first time in his TFL career, I think. And that's absolutely great feat by the Alfa Romeo driver, but the conditions helped him for sure. Only 17 thousandths of a second in it though. And the next driver is Black Box with an 11.4. 1 second up the road. Will Black Box go for another lap? I don't think he will. Joey, yeah, will go into the pit lane as well, so he realizes that his typical strategy of just putting laps together isn't going to work when the conditions are getting worse and worse all the time. And the driver should probably just retire in the pit lane, because I don't think the conditions are getting better. And let's just ask our connections in the race what the conditions will be for the rest of the race. Yeah, Kaya Fruitful have retired, so that indicates that the conditions in qualifying won't get better. Marco goes out onto the track in a desperate attempt at setting a quicker lap time. Oh, Marco has retired. Well, he's definitely not going to improve, I'm sure of that. So we have our retired drivers. We have our drivers out of qualifying. Marco and Mitch, as we said a few moments ago as well. Joey Black Box on the cusp of elimination. Black Box after spinning out on his first hot lap. Joey setting lap time good enough just for Q2. And now it's just waiting for the drivers to retire. And that will probably take a few minutes at best. Is there a Ferrari on track? There was a Ferrari on track momentarily. And now back into the pit lane, so probably was a mistake on the minimap, if you noticed that. Davey has retired, as has Black Box, and we're still waiting for 5 drivers to retire. And last season, 2021, in real life, Max Verstappen won by a margin of just around 20 seconds, and that was because of a pit stop that had to be made by Lewis Hamilton to get the fastest lap back from his teammate, who stole it 2 laps before the checkered flag. And that was, of course, the first Dutch Grand Prix in a long time, and hopefully the Dutch Grand Prix will be reoccurring on the calendar for a long time to come. I don't think it's the best circuit for racing. Definitely the atmosphere is grand here in the grandstands. Joey, Frankie and Damiano still have to retire. And I don't know why you wouldn't retire, because you're not going to improve. Or they might go out on inters to get a heads-on on the conditions, but I don't think they will. Oh, someone is going out onto the track, and it's Joey. That doesn't surprise me at all. Joey on the inters out onto the track. And the other drivers, I definitely think that they think that Joey needs to retire as soon as possible, but Joey has other plans. Joey just wants to get a reconnaissance lap in on these inters. Through the schijfvlak he goes. He just is getting a heads up for the conditions He knows what the conditions will be when going into Q2. The thing is, can he improve on his starting position? His best starting position up to this point has been the Brazilian Grand Prix, P16, in that qualifying session, almost making it out of Q1. Now he is into Q2, but it will be difficult for him to improve one more position because he has very capable drivers against him. It will be interesting to see if he can do that. I do think Joey should have gone into the pit lane. Damiano has gone onto the track as well. You'll have plenty of time in Q2 for these runs, but yeah, can't say anything about it, right? Frankie is in the pit lane. He is not going to retire as of yet. Joey 2.3 seconds down, so that just gives you an indication on how much slower the track is in the rain. 2.3 seconds slower than he would be when in dry conditions. Well, maybe not him, but the fastest driver, regular. Just want to try the conditions. Well, it might be a coincidence as they are both in Alfa Romeo. Maybe they get the job from Frederic Vasseur to just try to check out for a few laps and to come into the pit lane to just get a heads up on the competition. And Joey, I think, yes, is going into the pit lane. So he's going to retire soon, I think. Or he might change to a new set of inters. No, he has retired in the pit lane. Finally, that's 1 out of 3 down. 2 to go. Frankie is still in the pit lane. Damiano is still out on track. Probably will go into the pit lane now. Question is Frankie still active, or has he walked away from his console? Oh, Damiano, yeah. Oh, he's very lucky that he didn't crash out there, because if he would have crashed out, that would have meant that he couldn't participate in Q2 and Q3 possibly. So Damiano now into the pit lane, across the white line on pit entry. Is he going to retire? I think he is. Yes, he is. But now Frankie is out on the track. Of course, why not? He has the track all to himself. And look at the times. Young's on fast with 110.4 is fast on this track. Young's don't get pole position possibly here. Ferrari have been going strong in the recent races held in season 5. And let's just look at the standings here. Because at the moment we're just looking at Alpine. Throw Hans R. Chicane in the rain with no one out on track. Is he now going into the pit lane? Oh, Frankie losing his car. Hopefully for him he won't retire. Oh, he's going into the pit lane backwards. Why not? Just retire, Frankie. Just retire. He's into reverse. Yeah. This has been the weirdest Q1 session in TFL history. Well, we have the standings right here. Thank you for retiring, Frankie. We are going through into Q2 with rainy conditions. Bottle leads the championship, as we said before, with 136 points. Even if he DNFs and his rivals get the maximum amount of points possible, Bottle will be in the lead of the championship because he is 31 points ahead of Davy in second position. Davy automatically then has 105 points, very close with Jerry. Jerry has 104 points. So Jerry needs to outscore Davy to go into P2 in the championship. Then it's Yagizan, Damiano, Mika in P6, P7 for Sven, P8 for Arno, P9 for Fruitful, and then P10 for Luke. That is your top 10. As we are getting ready for Q2 here. Yes, it is still raining. Don't think the conditions are going to worsen. Just a weather update for you guys at home. The conditions for the race will be dry. So dry conditions for the race are forecast. Probably there is a Ferrari. Oh, I already see the Ferrari mechanic. Of course, it's the Ferrari of Yagzan. First out onto the track. Yeah, everyone on the inter. Oh, Davey, what are you doing? He's on the mediums. Why not? I think he's going to change to the inters pretty soon. Well, why wouldn't you? It has been a weird qualifying session up to this point. Why not qualify on those mediums in these conditions? Probably has changed his tires to inters already. No, he hasn't. So, okay. Well, it's an amazing track to drive. It's a track I've driven a few laps around in real life. And what surprised me was the difference in elevation of the bank corners. How much you're actually going up and down through those corners. It's amazing to see in real life. You really can't see the elevation if you're going into the chicane now in the game, but the elevation here in real life is actually really big. It's a really big elevation in the Hansen chicane, and you can't see it even on the game. I don't think this track has been laser scanned to reflect the amount of elevation. Even turn 1, the elevations in turn 1 after the renovation, where you can just see it being banked. And then this section, awesome to see the Hugenholzbocht in real life. And now through the dunes, all full throttle of course, even in the rainy conditions. And through the schijfvlak, he's on with the left tire onto the grass, keeps it within the white lines, turning in the 50 meter sign. I think the conditions are getting drier once again. I guess Davey is waiting in the pit lane for the conditions to dry out. Yes, he is. Because I don't think it's raining anymore. Looking at the halo, first indication for the drivers when rain is starting or ending. You can't see the rain on the halo at this point in time. So it has stopped raining. You can see the drier line on the track as well. I think the track will be dry enough in just a few minutes time. 118.670 for Yagizan, Black Box 119.2. That's 6 tenths down. Vieri 7 tenths down from provisional P1. Ball, championship leader, coming towards the finish line now and sets a lap time good enough for a second position. It's a Ferrari 1-2, but Kaya spoils the party. 1 tenth down from provisional P1, and Sven into P3. Good lap time from him. Fruitful 119.119. Interesting fact, that is exactly the same lap time that Kimi Räikkönen set in 2018 on his way to pole position, the fastest lap at the time in Formula 1 history. Now beaten by Hamilton in 2020. Can you guess at which track it was? Where did Kimi Räikkönen set a 119.119 to set the fastest lap time ever in Formula 1? And and that was in 2018, and it got him pole position. His only pole position of the year. He won, of course, that year in the United States. Great memories from that race. And only 3 races since have been won by Ferrari. And that hurts for me. Only Belgium, Italy, and Singapore have been won by Ferrari since 2018 United States Grand Prix, won by Kimi Räikkönen. That was in 2019, won by Charles Leclerc, Belgium, and Italian Grand Prix, and then in Singapore by Sebastian Vettel. Ferrari haven't won since. Going on board with one of the Ferraris. Let's go on board with Jackson. I, for one, hope that they are going to win this weekend. But we'll see if that will happen. Yagizan is not improving. I think the track is dry enough. Is Davey still in the pit lane? Yes, he is. He'll be going out in just a few moments' time. If my feeling is right. The track is still a bit wet. Let's look at the different tire compounds that everyone has on their cars. Yeah, Black Box in pit lane does have the soft tires fitted to his car. And he's not the only driver with dry tires. Davey has still the mediums fitted. So that's one compound harder. And now Sven also softs for him. I think we're at the crossover point at this point in time. Remember, the harder tire compounds are more difficult to use than the softer compounds when driving in semi-wet conditions. So Davey would have to put in a monumental lap to go into Q3 on those mediums. Joey in P12 on the inters has invented this lap. I think he'll go into the pit lane. No, he'll continue on his way. Fruitful also continuing to set lap times, as is Yagizan. Yagizan isn't improving. What can Fruitful do? I think they'll have to go into the pit lane sometime soon. Fruitful does have enough fuel for a few more runs, it seems, because the fuel indicator is not lighting up on the bottom of his screen. DRS has been enabled, which is the message that indicates that the track is dry enough for the dry compounds. I'll give it 10 seconds before the first dry compound is out onto the track, and let's see if I'm right. Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not yet. So they're all a bit hesitant, but the DRS being enabled means that the track is dry enough for dry compound. Fruitful realizes that, is going into the pit. Oh, almost crashes his Alpha Tauri. You can just see those inters not having any grip whatsoever in the drying conditions. And actually dry conditions, if I do so. Joey has set the lap time, good enough for 12th position. Should go into the pit lane now. Still the only car out on the track. They're all waiting for each other to go out onto the track. These drivers. Joey imperfect by 0.2 of a second. Needs to find 2 seconds to improve 1 position. P12 would be an absolutely monumental achievement for Joey. Don't think he's going to get that P12 because some drivers are still in the pit lane, haven't set a lap time as of yet. Frankie, Davey and Mika being those drivers. Joey actually being slower than he was before. That is because of those drying conditions. And those inters will deteriorate faster than they would in the weather conditions. Drying conditions will cause graining on those tires. Joey realizes that, and he is going into the pit lane. At least he has set a banker lap. And he's in P12 with his teammate Damiano in P11. 5 minutes left on the clock. So this will be a very interesting moment as Ferrari, once again, movement at the Ferrari garage. Yagizon, of course, on the mediums. He'll be the first driver to go out on a dry compound. Probably more to follow in just a few seconds time. Always one of the first drivers to go out onto the track to do his hot lap. Once again today. All the other drivers still in the pit lane, so nobody wants to set a lap time. I think they're all waiting for the final moments in this qualifying session, because the track will be at its best at that point. So Yagizan is going to set the lap time. Conditions will get better, and the lap time will be easily beaten by a few guys on the mediums. Remember, Yagizan is on the mediums. Not having the best conditions might actually be one of the worst things he could have done going out right now onto the track. Both McLarens out on the track now, Mika and Jerry. He's almost losing his move. Banked corner. He'll go for a run to improve his lap time in P1. Because he's still in P1 with those inter tires. This lap will be probably around 6 seconds faster. 6-7 seconds at least. I think it will be around 7, maybe 8 even. Maybe 8 seconds. At first sector, it was 1.5 seconds faster than it was before. Purple, of course, because he's the first driver to go for a lap time. Amazing track. It's just an amazing track to drive for quality runs. Racing, not so much. Maybe the new Formula 1 cars, the new generation of Formula 1 cars, might change that, but I don't think they will. But we'll see when we get here to Zandvoort. 4 seconds faster now. Purple sector 2. And probably will win a lot of time at that chicane. 7.3 seconds is my guess. 7.3 seconds faster than it was before. No, 5.7. 12.9. That is still, of course, because of those conditions, not doing the best at the moment. Yagizan continuing on his way, I think. Yeah, he's continuing for another run here around Zandvoort. Okay, so going for another run. Fruitful also on the mediums. Black box on the softs. Fastest sector 1. Jerry is slow on his hot lap, so he's probably made a mistake somewhere. Mika on a run. Just competed in the IFR event at Brazil. Got P11 in the end, I think. This will be the fastest lap time for Mika, yes, by a long shot. 1.1 seconds faster than Yagizan, and those are just track conditions, I think. Not even a lot of a better run than Yagizan, but better conditions. Purely better conditions. Okay, few more drivers now coming towards the line. Black box, fastest of all. Then it's the McLaren teammate of Mika. It is Jerry who is now starting his hot lap. Yagizan improves. 11.4. And as were conditions, Kaya is now starting his lap on the mediums. And it is Fruitful coming towards the line. He'll go into P3, 11.6. 1 tenth behind Black box on the soft. Good lap time from the Alpha Tauri driver. Kaya has set a lap time. Frankie on his out lap is starting his lap now. Sven is doing the same. He's starting his lap now. Then the Mercedes of Davy P5 for Davy 14.1. Not good enough. He'll go for another run. Damiano towards the line he goes as his teammate now starts the lap. Damiano goes fastest of all. 110.8 on the softs. Mika now starting again. And Luke in P10 on the softs. Henry starting a lap as well. Blackbox coming towards the line once again. He's on the softs, so he done 2 runs on those softs. P3. Oh, those softs will be dead when he starts the race. Mika goes... Harry goes P4 on the softs as well. And Ball now goes fastest, and that is the checkered flag here in Q2. Kaya is in P3. And Fruitful qualifies P6. Ono qualifies P2 in Q2, so that doesn't determine the positions yet. Yagi-san! Well, the conditions have caught him out. He is out of qualifying. Sven has gone fastest. Davy will go P5. But that is quite interesting. Joey will go P13. Luke will probably improve, and he goes fastest of all. Good lap time from him. Henry will go P1 as well. A lot of drivers improving, and that is just purely because of those conditions. Jerry is now at the risk of being knocked out in P13 in his favorite qualifying position. Can he improve? P12. Knocks Fruitful down 1 position. Blackbox, is out of qualifying. So it's Joey, his predicted position of P15, but shocker here in Q2. Yagi-san knocked out because he went onto the track too fast. And that's very weird to say, but he went out onto the track too fast when the conditions weren't good enough. They just weren't good enough for quick lap times. That results in a 111.4. That was provisional pole or provisional P1 in Q2, but now is 1.3 seconds slower than he should be. Fruitful out as well. Jerry out as well. Oh yeah, Blackbox out as well in P11. Through into Q3. Henry, Luke, Sven, Borrell, Frankie, Ono, Davy, Damiano, Kaya, and Mika. They are into Q3. And remember, Davy, Kaya, and Mika all have the mediums. So they'll have an advantage in the race, or at least a different strategy in the race. Blackbox on the softs. Yeah, timing, I'd probably say. Same thing goes for Jerry. I think they could have gotten so much more out of their tires. Fruitful, on the mediums, just missed out by a few tenths. Would have gone into Q3 easily on the softs, because he's only 2 tenths down on the mediums. And now, the final important qualifying session here in Q3. Yeah, my guess for pole position would have been Yagi-san, but he is out of qualifying. I have no idea who's going to take pole position for once. Normally I would have had an idea, but not today. Borrell would have the best starting position if he would start in P1 and drive away from the pack. That will help his championship chances, but it will be an almighty task for him to qualify in P1 in this grid, on this grid. P2 for him in the Q2 session. Luke is out onto the track in his number 72 of Ferrari. Most drivers are driving out of the pit lane now. Mika is still in. Kaya still in. Frankie, Sven, Botten, and Onno. Frankie now coming out of the pit lane, as well as Sven. But still 3 drivers, and Borrell and Kaya and Mika, well, Borrell is now moving out of the pit lane. Let's go on board with the driver that will set the first lap here in qualifying. Damiano, if he won't be overtaken by Luke in the AlphaTauri. And he won't be overtaken. Damiano now going to start his hot lap. In the Alfa Romeo, DRS wide open down towards turn 1, the Tarzan corner. Braking around 75 meters nicely. He did miss the apex a little bit, but that still doesn't mean the lap will be affected all that much. Through Heathrow holes he goes, and down towards the Schijfvlak. Let's go back to Damiano. Yeah, down towards the Schijfvlak. 24.586 for Damiano in the first sector. Normally the first sector time would have been here, but that was the old rendition of the Zandvoort track. Yellow flag because of Ferrari going slowly. That is Ball lining up for his hot lap. DRS wide open. Down towards the Hunst and chicane, and now Damiano goes 48.890. Passes in sector 2 as well. First driver to set a lap time. So of course he will be quickest in all the sectors. Misses the apex at the Kumelbocht. Sorry. Opening the DRS out of the Arleidijk bocht. And now fastest of all, 110.4. Luke can't beat it. 110.6. Davey now towards the line he goes. I think this will be close for P1 against him and Damiano. It will be P1. 3 temps in it. Good lap time from Davey. 110.1. But I do believe we will see a 0.9. 109 in just a few moments time. Sven 110.3. Can he go for 1.09? I think this one would be 110.0, 110.1. Yeah, 110.1 just misses out on provisional pole. Oh, he goes off the road to go out of the way for Frankie. Frankie was now starting his lap. Kaya, meanwhile, goes P3, 110.1. Very close here for pole position. 32 thousandths between the first, second, and third position. Ball is on the front row. That is an excellent effort by the Ferrari driver, who is in the lead of the championship, but his main championship rival is in P1. Will they go into the 109s? Frankie opening the DRS now towards Hans Ernst he goes, and he is 6.4 seconds quicker. That is because he probably made a mistake on his previous lap and had to go for it once again through turn 13. Now onto the banked Arie Luijendijk corner. DRS wide open once again. What will it be for Frankie? It will be a 110.3, only good enough for P6. 2 times slower than Paul. Only the 6th best time out of 8 cars that have set a lap time to this point. Henry isn't on a hot lap. Mika is now going into the pit lane because he invalidated his lap. Is a driver on a hot lap? Luke is on a hot lap. Yes, Luke is on a hot lap. I don't think this will be lap time good enough for P4 or better. He slows down. Oh, his fuel. He ran out of fuel at the line. Well, that was almost timed by perfection. But not having any fuel whatsoever hindered him at the last meters of the lap. Henry also doesn't have any fuel. Davey, oh, made a mistake. Oh, he made a mistake. And that is not ideal for Davey, to say the least. Kaya is on a push lap. What an amazing sector it is. I just could watch Formula 1 cars going through this sector 2 all the time. But he is not going fast enough on this lap. Frankie into the pit lane. Now Luke still on his way back to the pit lane. And that means we have Davey on provisional pole. Burrow alongside him. And Kaya behind him. Oh no. Good provisional P4 from him. Sven. Good to see him up there still. Has put in some great qualifying results in the last few races. Hopefully he'll continue that today. As we are waiting for the cars to enter their final runs. I think there's a McLaren going out on the track now. Yeah, there is. The McLaren of Mika. Is this a case of bad timing once again from a driver? Because last time when we saw cars going out on the track this quick, it was Jagizan, it was Jerry being eliminated in qualifying because they went out onto the track too fast, too quick to set a quick lap time in the closing stages of qualifying because of the track evolution. Well, Mika doesn't mind that, and he is on his run. Well, he is on his outlet now. We have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. I do think Ball will take pole. I have a feeling Ball will take pole position here. And further solidify his P1 in the standings at this moment. Mika, though, will do anything about it that he can to try and go for provisional pole. Was just through into Q3 by 17 thousandths. But now, trying to go for pole position. Almost eliminated. Can he, against all the odds, qualify on pole? Purple sector 1, 24.50. Oh, a bit of a laggy moment from Mika. Apart from that, that section looked good. Yeah, he has given up on his lap. No idea what happened there. After that moment, it looked like a good run through the Skyflak. Davey on his outlap. Burrow on his outlap. Kaya. Oh no, exiting the pit lane as is Sven. And Luke now coming out of the pit lane as well. So all the cars are now going out onto the track. Mika going for another run here. Damiano on a run as well. Behind them, Mercedes of Davey also on a lap. Damiano will be the first driver to complete his lap. Then it is going to be Mika in P9. Damiano almost 1/10 faster than he was before. And those small margins can mean any position. Oh, as Damiano almost loses his car. Will continue on his run? No, he won't. So he'll try once again in just a few moments time. Mika is on that second run. 14.2 could be easily improved upon. 1.3 seconds faster. Damiano nicely gets out of the way. Mika does have enough ERS to complete his lap. Red Bull driver Sven is in front now, starting his lap. I think Davey made a mistake as well. Now Mika completing his lap. It is provisional pole position by 4 thousandths of a second from Davey. Davey made a mistake. Oh, he was on a banger of a lap as now Kaya, first driver into the 109s. Good job by Kaya. Ono is now starting his lap. Davey is out of qualifying. From provisional pole is now out of qualifying. Luke starts his final lap. Henry 48.506 is on a good lap as well. Where can Henry put himself on the grid? It is provisional pole for Henry in the Mercedes 109.767. Two drivers into the 109s. Sven has retired. He made a mistake in sector 2. He's off onto the gravel. Burrell is improving by 1/10, almost 2/10. What can he do? He'll go into P3. Not the front row that he was on just a few moments ago, but it is P3 and the second row for the Ferrari for now. Gaia is out on the track. Frankie is improving. What can Frankie do? Can Frankie go on to provisional pole? No, he can't. P5 for Frankie in the Alpine. In the house of Ono, he's improving. Ono is still improving. Oh, he's not improving. Okay, Damiano. Oh, guys. Well, it's a hard track, Zandvoort. And Luke is the final driver that we look to. Can he improve? He'll go P4. P4 for Luke, 109.989. Second row for Luke. And Mika is not improving. Ono is not improving. And Damiano also spun around. And it is Henry on pole with Kaya alongside him. Burrell in P3, Luke in P4, Mika P5. Your top 5. Behind them it's Frankie. Davey, long time pole sitter here. Provisional pole sitter. Was 2.5 times faster than he was previously. Exiting that second sector. It still wouldn't have been good enough from keeping away pole position from Henry, because he set a 109.767, a whopping 4 tenths faster than Davey was. Davey could have found that lap time in the third sector though. He didn't, and he spun around, and he misses out on pole position. And Henry, his teammates, takes it here at Zandvoort. Well, not even 1/10 down is Kaya with a 109.856. Two more drivers into the 109s. Burrell and Luke. Burrell just into the 109.9s. Just missing out on those 0.8s. And Luke almost missed out on the 109s entirely. 11 thousandths was in it. My guess, because overtaking is very difficult at this circuit, it could very well be a day for Henry to remember, because he starts on pole position here at a track where overtaking is very difficult. But remember, overtaking is very difficult because, and that means the drivers will probably give everything they can in lap 1. And that means lap 1 will be very interesting to watch around this track. 30 seconds left for the drivers to choose their strategy. For the drivers outside of the top 10 to pick their starting tire. For the drivers inside the top 10, the starting tires have already been determined. They will start on the tires that they qualified on in Q2. In real life, the Formula 1 2022 season, the Q2 rule as it has been called, has actually been taken out of the regulations. Of the rules, I should say. So that means any driver on the field can choose whichever tire they want to start on for the race. So if the driver on pole position qualifies in Q2 on the softs and wants to start on the hards for some reason in the race, they can do that. that Q2 route has been introduced a long time back, but now has been taken out of the rules. And I'm very curious if it will produce better racing. At least it will produce different strategies for a lot of drivers. Hopefully it will. Drivers trying to avoid using the softs in Q2. Probably the more further advanced teams like Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull. Those three teams in the hybrid era, not counting 2020 and 2021 there, 2016 to 2019, those years, you always saw Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes using those Q2s in Q2s, the mediums in Q2, try and qualify on the mediums. All other cars in Q3 that qualified into Q2, all of them most certainly would use the softs to get through into Q3. Now the rule has been taken away and we are ready to start our race here at Zandvoort. Cars are lining up on the grid now. Henry is waiting patiently here in pole position. The lights are now on. 5 lights on for the drivers. And it's lights out and away we go. Henry gets a bad start. Good start from Kaya in the Alpine. He's into the lead already. The Ferrari of Burrell alongside Henry. But Henry around the outside holds on to P2. Now can he get back at Kaya? No, he can't. Kaya takes the lead here on lap 1. And is leading the Dutch Grand Prix. The Ferrari of Burrell nicely holds on to P3 with the AlphaTauri of Luke in P4. Then it's Frankie from Davy, from Mika, Damiano and Onno, side by side through the dunes of Zandvoort, down towards the Schijfvlak they go. The Haas on the outside just has to back off and is safe from Onno behind. Oh, it's an Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo is safe from Onno behind. Onno in P9, Sven in P10, Black Box in P11. And now, yellow flag, I think for Fruitful. Fruitful has spun round. And the Red Bull guys are side by side at the Hans Ernst chicane, side by side for Sven and Black Box here. Another point on the track where you see cars going side by side a lot. Black Box is on the outside of Sven. Sven nicely holds on to P10, or is he? Black Box with the switchback. Oh, side by side on the main straight. Good action between the two Red Bulls. Very curious what Fruitful did. He made a mistake and is now a long way back. McLaren, oh, the ball, no, Ball made a mistake in the Ferrari. Oh, he has spun around. Awful news for Ball, who was looking good to defend his championship lead, but now has spun around. And it will be a very difficult task for him to get some points from being in a very good position in P3, from running outside the points in P16. How fast things can change here in TFL. The Red Bull still battling there. Damiano and Onno are also still battling. Onno has made his way past Damiano. Damiano probably made a mistake. I saw polystyrene board on the right hand side of the track being destroyed. I think that is by Damiano making a mistake. Onno has made his way past Damiano for sure. And we are entering lap 3 out of 36. It is Kaya from Henry, from Luke, from Frankie, from Davy. Davy making up 2 positions, starting in P7. Has the pace, definitely, to get a good result here. Dera Mitch and Dera Marco battling it out on track. Marco losing out to Mitch. Oh! He makes a mistake! Marco crashing into the wall. Yellow sector 1. Will it be a safety car? It will be a virtual safety car. Marco crashing out while we were on board with it, and that was a very heavy crash. Those mediums not giving it the grip that he would have wanted. And he crashed out. Okay, so most position lost, of course, by Ball, going from P3 all the way down to P15. Ball and Fruitful are nicely back up to back of the pack because of the virtual safety car. That gap is swinging up and down a little bit. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. It was 1.9 just a few moments ago. They have to keep to the delta. Fruitful only losing 3 positions because of his qualifying in P13. Oh, Henry into the pit lane. Henry pitting under the virtual safety car to the mediums. Does think the mediums can hold on, and a lot of cars actually boxing for the mediums. Ball is boxing. Henry has boxed. Damiano is boxing for Hearts. Who's boxing as well? Ono, I think. Ono is also on the Hearts. Henry on the mediums. That will be a difficult task on those mediums, but it is possible, I think. DRS has been enabled, and it was a free pit stop for Henry, because now the DRS is once again enabled, and the yellow flags went away the moment he came out of the pit lane. So good timing by the Mercedes man. Kaya is leading from Luke, 1.1 seconds down. Won't get the DRS of the Alpine. That will help out the Alpine teammate Frankie in P3. He will get the DRS of the AlphaTauri. Kaya has to drive away from Luke in P2, but won't do that. I think Luke is pushing a little bit of his ERS to keep within that 1 second. Yes, he is now within that 1 second and is using the DRS, and it is absolutely crucial for Luke's race to not lose out on any position. Yellow sector 3, Joey in the Alfa Romeo has spun around, ever career best qualifying, has spun around on the main straight, but still ahead of Ono, Damiano and Ball. Did Ball make another mistake, or was it just that far back? Damiano in front of Ono. Ono is pushing Damiano around though, and Henry is pushing his ERS. Joey is being overtaken by Damiano. Now Ono will try to go for a move on Joey. Joey defending nicely here in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate was let past. What can Joey do against Ono here? Can Ono go around the outside? No, he can't. Joey on the softs. Ono on the hards. Can Ono go around the outside of Joey? Yes, he can. There's a little bit of contact, but a good overtake by Ono around the outside of Joey. Joey once again back into P15, his starting position. Cars exchanging fastest laps here. Davey setting the fastest lap, 112.889 on the mediums, and that is absolutely crucial for Davey, as well as a few other drivers. Kaya is actually in the lead on the mediums. Davey and Mika also on the mediums. I'm very curious if these mediums from Henry will hold on until the end of the race. He'll probably take the lead of the race. Almost 100% certain of that. After the pit stops by the other drivers, because he has the fresher mediums and is in fresh air. Does not have the dirty air from cars in front. Dirty air will be a term that we hopefully will hear less about now that the new generation of Formula 1 cars has been introduced. Ground effects that they use these new Formula 1 cars should reduce the amount of dirty air, and therefore will allow the cars to follow easier, which is one of the crucial things around here, around Zandvoort, and around a lot of other tracks worldwide as well. We are in lap 7 out of 36. The conditions are overcast, but we received the notification that the weather will stay dry, but anything can happen here in TFL. Henry is almost At the back of Fruitful, Henry made the pit stop though. Luke just about keeps hold of the DRS. Davey on the back of Frankie. Yagizan is now in P9 on the mediums. Is at the back of the McLaren. It's Ferrari versus McLaren. Okay, he needs to escort Davey if he wants to one-up himself in the championship standings. Don't think that is going to happen. This is the race for Davey and Jerry to gain points on their championship rival Ball. This Ball is in P16. Looking at Ball, he's looking for an overtake here on Joey in the Alfa Romeo. Ball is using the ERS, is using the DRS towards the Tarzan corner. Can he go for an overtake on Joey? Oh, Joey braking early. Ball going around the outside of Joey, but Joey keeps hold of that inside line, accelerating out of Tarzan. And now nicely Ball going around the outside. Joey giving up that position. Don't think he could have defended that position as he would have liked to. Davey is pushing Frankie around on the track. He's really close behind the Alpine. It's an Alpine 1-3 at the moment. Good result for them. That will be. I'm just calculating 32 laps on the mediums for Henry. That is quite a difficult task as Davey now trying to go for the move on Frankie. Down the inside he goes and he makes the move work. Yagizan, has he made a mistake? Yes, he has made a mistake. He has spun around on the banked Hugenholz corner. Got his Ferrari onto the road once again, but made the mistake. Now Henry behind him. Yagizan probably has dirty tires now, or at least overheated tires, so that gives Henry a chance to make a move on the Ferrari driver. It has to stick behind for now. Yagizan stay going from good to bad to worse to even worse. From provisional P1 in qualifying, it's being knocked out of qualifying to be spun around in the race. He's now in P11, outside of the points. Hasn't made a pit stop, and this man Henry has made that pit stop. Thing is, Yagizan does have the DRS of a Fruitful in the AlphaTauri. It would make life pretty difficult for Henry to make a move. I don't think Henry is going to make a move. He was way too far down. Yagizan still has the pace though, because he's 9 thousandths of a second slower than his best lap. Yari is pushing his ERS on Black Box down towards the Schijfvlak. This is stick behind Black Box. He always the consistent point scorer. That's what got him up into the championship lead at one point. Now in P3. There he is really going for the inside on Black Box. Can he make that move work? Down towards the Hans Ernst chicane they go. Oh, that would have been some overtake on Black Box if he could have made that one work. Black Box is struggling behind his teammate Sven. Has to stick behind for now. Now Jerry getting a good exit. Now DRS wide open. Sven going into the pit lane. Black Box does not have the slipstream to defend with. Now can Jerry go around the outside? Oh no, it's a moment of contact. Oh no. Mitch getting into contact with Jerry. Hopefully for him, for both of them, they don't have a damage. But that was, I think, a bit of a clumsy move. I think by Jerry he turned in on Black Box, I think. I don't think that was Black Box's fault particularly. But I'll have to see the footage after the race. Mika. Walking behind Frankie. Frankie though still having that DRS. Kaya has broken free from Luke. That means Davy is now pushing behind Luke. I think this is going to be the moment where Davy will make the overtake. 3 attempts behind Luke. He is pushing the ERS. He's not going into the pit lane. The Alpine of Frankie is though. And Davy goes into P2. Overtakes Luke on the main straight. Great move by Davy. Perfectly managing his ERS. And now using a little bit of ERS to get into the DRS range of Kaya. Davy coming from P7. Showing he has the pace to get into P1 in the race as well. Now Davy within the DRS range of Kaya. Kaya has the same amount of ERS left as Davy. Davy actually having a little bit of more ERS, sending purple sector 1 in the process. Davy. Kaya, I think, is pushing a little bit to keep Davy out of the DRS ring. It's absolutely crucial that Davy gets it, and I don't think he has it on this straight. No, he does not. So he needs to find a little bit more time in this third sector. 9 temps, 8.5 temps. The gap absolutely crucial for Davy to get that DRS. The detection point is after turn 13, which is here. I think Davy gets it. Davy gets the DRS off of Kaya. Will Kaya continue on? Yes, he will. Davy will continue on. Luke will go into the pit lane. Davy setting the fastest lap of the race in the process. And this race has suddenly opened up. With Luke now going for the undercut. Going onto fresh hard tires. Frankie has pitted the lap before. Will he overtake Luke? That will give a good indication as to where Kaya and Davy will be after their pit stops. They are almost side by side coming out of the pit lane for the AlphaTauri driver, and Frankie is just ahead of Luke. So Frankie into P9, absolutely crucial for his race. Remember, Henry has made a pit stop and is in P8, but he will have the oldest mediums out of any driver. Even Frankie on those mediums, Luke on those hards. Luke is on the hards. He's pitted lap 13. And Henry is on the mediums. He's pitted lap 4. Really interesting if these mediums will hold on. I don't think they will. I've experienced a puncture myself once again in the final lap at Zandvoort, and I have a trauma of that. Losing out on the podium there. And then hopefully for Henry, the same won't happen to him, but I think Henry has a good chance of overtaking Fruitful here. Yes, he has, using a little bit of ERS. The DRS wide open, and into P7 he goes. Good move by Henry. Fruitful relegated down to P8, hasn't made a stop. Yagizan on the rear of Jerry. Yagizan, remember, crashing out, or spinning out on the main straight. Now struggling to get past Jerry van Bussel. In the McLaren, Henry, with those superior mediums, is already within DRS range of Yagizan. Davy, 4.5 temps down from Kaya. Can Davy do it? Can he go for an overtake? What will the strategy be for these guys? Will they continue on or pit for softs during one stage in this race? Or will they box very soon for a set of hards? And by the looks of things, they'll continue on. Probably will go for the softs later on in the race. Yagizan now makes the move on Jerry, but Jerry keeping hold of the P5. Side by side, Jerry and Yagizan. Jerry has to eventually back out because Yagizan is now into P5. Henry on the back. Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes here. Henry with the superior mediums. Would like to move up the grid as fast as possible. Because Frankie is 6.2 seconds behind. still continuing. I think Kaya and Davey will go for the softs. Ball still in P15 after Joey now has pitted. He's in P16. Now going out onto the track. Joey almost getting lapped by Kaya and Davey, but Joey has made a pit stop. Henry on the rear of the McLaren of Jerry van Bussel. Jerry having the DRS, but not having any ERS to defend with. Henry gaining on Jerry, to the outside he almost went, but Jerry moving a bit on the braking, I think. Henry did not know where to go. Left, right, or just into the back of the McLaren. Eventually decided to back out. It looks like Henry does have the superior pace. It is looking pretty pacey around Zandvoort now. Crusoe is keeping up nicely as well. The AlphaTauri hasn't boxed as of yet. Is also, I think, waiting for a safety car to happen. If he will box, he will fall down the grid pretty far. Now can Harry make a move? Going into Hans Ernst. Can he make a move going into Hans Ernst? No, he can't. Not a lot of overtakes happening down at the Hans Ernst chicane. Jagizan is driven out of the DRS range for Jerry. Jerry won't have the DRS on the main straight. Will benefit Henry, but Henry makes a mistake. Oh, Henry makes a mistake, and that throws away the chance of a great move on Jerry. And actually, fruitful down the inside on Henry. Almost made the overtake stick on the Mercedes. Oh, great battling here. First of all, trying to go for the better exit out of Hugenotz. But Henry holds on to P7. Great racing by these guys. Frankie does not have a lot of ERS left to defend with. Fruitful at 30%. Henry at 50% does have enough to attack Jerry, and Jerry at 10%. Now making mistakes as well here. Could you see Jagizan having the superior pace and just driving away from the McLaren? I think this will be the moment, if Henry doesn't make a mistake, where the Mercedes can move ahead of the McLaren. Do that on the main straight now. Jerry missing the apex for good measure. Here he comes. Henry on his way up the field. And Jerry not having any chance to defend. Will he defend? He will defend. Henry moving down the outside. Can he move his way around the outside of Jerry van Bussel? They bang tires. But now around the outside, Henry. Can he keep hold of the position? No, he can't. Is being re-overtaken by the McLaren. Jerry defending brilliantly here. It was hard racing, but I think fair racing. Jerry keeps hold of P6. Henry can't overtake the McLaren. Will Henry try it at a rather unconventional place here at the track? He might do that if he can't move past Jerry on the main straight. Can't go for the inside here. He won't do that, but Jerry going wide. Can Jerry now defend? Going into the Hans Ernst chicane from Henry. Henry down the inside. No, he won't. Stays behind the McLaren once more. Fruitful is almost in the rear of Henry as well, because they are going so slowly because of Jerry. Jerry backing them up even more. Now, this is the prime opportunity for Henry to move up into P6. Looking at Jerry, he has no chance whatsoever to defend now. And Jerry and Henry battling it out in the track is over. Henry has overtaken Jerry. Jerry down to P7. Oh, Jerry almost losing the car. Now Fruitful is being invited into the battle. But rather quickly, Jerry recovers. He tries to go for a move on Henry. By the looks of things, he was pushing a little bit of his ERS left. Thing is, oh, Jerry once again making a mistake. He makes so many mistakes, And that is a mistake from Jerry this time round. Like normally he's a pretty consistent driver, but today he's just making mistakes left, right and center. And this is not the time to make those mistakes. Definitely not the race to make all those mistakes. Because they could have gotten a great result on ball. And Davey continuing on for those softs later on in the race. First of all, still behind Jerry. Jerry keeping up with Henry. You have the gap between P1 and P6. Let's look at the leader. This is 12.4. The pit stop here is pretty fast. So if Kaya puts on new softs, and if he's about to chase down Henry, it is very difficult for Henry to keep hold of that position against Kaya after the pit stops. Same can be said about Davey. Don't think Jerry has the DRS. Yeah, he does, just that helps him in defending from Fruitful, but I don't think he has it. Coming onto the main straight in just a few corners time, because the gap between Jerry and Henry is a 1.1. Mika now into the pit lane. Let's look at Mika. Mika is changing for the softs. He's trying to go for the undercut here. Those softs have great pace here around Zandvoort now. The thing is, all these cars in front of him will hold Mika up. So he'll try to go for the undercut on Kaya and Davey. All the cars in front of him will hold him up in his effort to get the undercut working. P13, Mika went from P3 to P13 after the pit stops. Look at the grip the McLaren driver now has got. Amazing. Sven absolutely has no chance whatsoever to defend from the McLaren of Mika. Mika gaining all the time and making the move, hopefully for Mika, going into the Hans Ernst chicane. That won't hinder his progress as much as I would have thought. And now Kaya and Davey both going into the pit lane. This will be quite interesting. Where will Mika end up? Yagizan moves into the lead of the race but hasn't pitted still. Henry is the first driver that has pitted, and from the top drivers. Mika behind Davey still. Yeah, Mika behind Davey still. Fruitful is DNF from this race in the pit lane. Yeah, he had a pretty miserable race. Once again, really quite interesting, quite fast driver, Fruitful, but yeah, hasn't made it work this season, unfortunately for him. Kaya is on a warpath. He has passed his teammate Frankie and is on his way towards Jerry van Bussel. His only real challenge here is getting past Henry, who will do anything he can to defend from Kaya, because that will be for the race win. But it will be a very hard task. Davey getting past Ono down towards the Hans and chicane, and now Mika is the first driver, the second driver to try to get past Ono. This was not the thing that Davey would have wanted, getting released within this train, but he is released within this train. Damiano has now got Davey for company as Luke and Frankie are battling. Frankie moves his way past Luke passes his way towards Frankie. Davey on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Look at the grip, look at the superior grip from Davey. Can he move his way past Damiano in the Alfa Romeo? Down the inside of the... Oh no, Davey! Oh no! That was such a difficult move to get right. He tried to go down the inside of the schijfvlak. Oh, and now, oh, Davey get it back onto the track, man. Oh, he track. He tried to go for the inside of the Schijfvlak. Absolutely gutted for Davy. He had the race within his grasp. He had the podium within his grasp, but loses out by going for a move, being too eager in the end. Davy gets a 3-second time, but he probably will retire in the pit lane. No chance whatsoever for Jerry as well to defend from Kaya. Oh, Davy. Yeah, that means Jerry won't score points in this race as well, I think, because he still needs to pit. They are waiting for a safety car here. I don't think that will come. Davy will now retire in the pit lane. As well as Jagizan. Jagizan and Jerry are both waiting for the safety car to come out. But it isn't happening here today, as of yet. Henry, the gap 3.1 between Henry and Kaya. 24 and 36 laps completed. Henry won't hold that, definitely won't. On his old mediums, Kaya has the faster, the newer tire compound. And is that Joey? Joey has been lapped. As Kaya now says the fast lap of the race indicates how fast he is compared to the rest of the field. Joey being lapped in the process here. Actually, that's through Jerry. Jerry still has to pit. Remember. Moves his way past. Joey, the left Alfa Romeo driver. Mika, behind Ono, has the superior grip as well. But use it as a sensible place, at a sensible point in his race, and not do a kamikaze move. And keep your McLaren out of the barriers. I have no idea what Youngzon and Jerry here are doing here. They are trying to stay out for the safety car, and if it will happen, they'll look absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Yagizan now has come into the pit lane. As I was telling, if the safety car would have come out, they would have looked absolutely brilliant. But there is no safety car at the moment. And Jerry now defending against Luke. Jerry had problems defending before. And now he's defending once again from Luke. Making a lot of mistakes, is in the podium positions, but still has to pit. Kaya on his way towards Henry, who's in the net lead of this race. Look at the grip levels from Luke against Jerry on those mediums, the old mediums versus newer hards, not new hards, newer hards at least. How much ERS does Jerry have? Around 19%. Not a lot of ERS left. Ono and Mika battling it out. Mika down the inside at Hans and Chicane. Moves his way up the field. Probably helped a little bit by his teammate holding up the pack. Now, Jerry defending towards the inside. He goes. Can he defend against Luke? No, he can't. No chance whatsoever. But Jerry will go down the inside on the Alpine of Frankie. Can he keep hold of P4 now? He has been relegated down to P5 and can't keep hold of P4. So loses 2 positions in the span of around 2 corners. You can see this the unbalance that Jerry has to deal with in his McLaren. 27 laps on those mediums, which was safety car in it. Now Kaya within the DRS range of Henry. Oh, there goes Damiano on the inside. Opportunistic move, but a good move, I think. And now Mika trying to go around the outside of Damiano. Wow, what battling are we seeing here? Ono has been spun around. Ono into the barrier. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. That is the moment, I think, for Jerry to box. There won't be a full safety car. There's a virtual safety car for the Haas of Ono in the wall. Ball, meanwhile, has put himself within the point spin position. Henry went into the pit lane to change onto new softs. So he realized that it was a hard task to keep Kaya behind on those old mediums, changing onto new softs. Does he have the pace on those tires to get a good position in the end? Getting ahead of Ball. Ball did not pit. He's on the old hards. Kaya having a gap of 8.2 seconds meanwhile. 8.8 now. Virtual safety car still ending. Let's look at the time penalties, if any will be given to the driver. Sven has got a time penalty, but is that because of drive through penalty or speeding under the virtual safety car delta? No, it is not. It's a 3-second time penalty. An LP1 too. I wouldn't have guessed that at the start of the race, but here we are, LP1 2. Kaya leading by 6.7. Frankie on the older mediums is keeping hold of P2 for now. Damiano! Into the wall he goes. And that means he has a damaged front wing. Will he go into the pit lane? Yes, he will. Oh, Damiano made the mistake. Now, saying LP12, Mika actually has those faster softs. Can still move up one more position before he comes to Kaya. Yellow sector 1. What is that all about? Is that because... Oh, Borrell! Borrell makes a mistake once again. Or, yeah, he lost his front wing. No, he did not even lose his front wing. It looked like he didn't have the downforce to make turn 2. Probably was because of dirty tires after spinning around, or hot tires. Mika now on the back of Frankie. Can Mika go for a move into the Hans and Chicana? Going for the inside here. Oh, Mika, great move by the McLaren driver. Awesome move to see. But Mika is vulnerable here at the main straight. And Frankie can come back at Mika as Mika gets a 3-second time penalty. Only a few drivers have gotten time penalties this race. Now, Frankie going around the outside and to P2 once again. Mika relegated down to P3 and with a time penalty added to his name. And Mitch, good race from Mitch as well. And looking at Henry, he's gaining a lot of time on these fresh softs. Ono, a 3-second time penalty in P13. Henry has gained a lot of time on these fresh softs against the drivers in front of him. And would want to continue his way up the grid. Probably won't get the win. Kaya is long gone into the distance and is just a few laps away from claiming his victory here at Zandvoort if he doesn't make a mistake. Can still get onto the podium and still take P2 in this race. Mika practically pushing Frankie. Now Frankie is defending for P2 still. Mika now using the DRS, using the ERS, little bit of energy he has. Can he go for the move into turn 1? No, he can't. Frankie defends the inside line. Mika still P3. Mitch, yeah, was eliminated in Q1, but has an amazing comeback drive here in the Aston Martin. Didn't think Mitch would get back up the grid this far after being eliminated in Q1, but great job by him. Still though, has to finish this race. Mika still can't get past Frankie, and that does not give any opportunity whatsoever to Mitch as well. I think Mika has to make his way past Frankie first before Mitch can do anything himself. Now Mika trying to go for the move again into Hans Ernst. Yes, he does. Once again by Mika into Hans Ernst. Great job. And then now Henry is on the back of Mitch. So the possible podium for Mitch might be falling out of his hands. Van Busswolf has been overtaken by Swandown, going into Hans Ernst. Mika now defending against Frankie. Once again, Frankie going around the outside. Yeah, Mika does not have any ERS to defend with. Oh, that's a mistake. Mistake by Mitch. Mistake by Mitch! Oh, Mitch had such a great race up to that point and made it a mistake. Oh, now the podium is long gone for Mitch. Oh, no. Awful for Mitch. But now looking at Mika. Mika is on the back of Frankie once again. But he crashed with Henry, I think. Mitch crashed with Henry. It happened something in turn 1. Because Mitch is suddenly down in P11. And Henry is at 2.0 seconds down from Mika. 5 laps still left. Anything can happen. Mika does not make the move into Hans Ernst this time, as now Sven has made a mistake as well, I think. That was Blackbox. Blackbox making a mistake. Has he lost his front wing? No, he hasn't. So he probably spun around. Now the Red Bull team is once again alongside each other on track, or behind one another on track. Mika now going for the inside of Tarzan. Oh, they make contact. Mika! No! Has been spun around. Opportunistic move from Mika. And that did not pay out in the end. Yeah, Mika, I can't say anything else than that was your own fault. That was just too aggressive, really, going into turn 1. Now taken by his teammate Jerry. Yeah, unfortunately for Mika, still an Alpine 1-2. After all the events that we have seen in this race, Henry is now getting back at Frankie. Frankie, yeah, doing an amazing job at keeping hold of the P2. Not any fault whatsoever that move by Mika. Mika spinning out. That was definitely not Mika's move. Not Mika's corner, I should say. 4 laps left in this race. Gaia leading the way. Henry is the only driver that can deny Frankie P2 here. Yagi's on behind, also on those fresh softs from the safety car. Henry has those softs as well from the safety car. Henry Luke a long way back. Now, Frankie, this will be your most difficult opponent to keep behind, because Henry has those fresh softs. Frankie has those old mediums. Blackbox and Sven, the teammates battling. Sven getting ahead of Blackbox now. Yeah, this still will be an extension in the championship for Borre, because Davy is not scoring points today. Jerry isn't scoring as much points as Borre. But I can say that Jerry will overtake Davy in the championship standings, promoting him up to P2. As we go into the dying stage of this championship. Well, this was a long time. Oh, this was coming. Henry on the back of Frankie, and is 3.5 temps back from Frankie. Frankie is pushing his DRS and ERS now. No, not his DRS. He doesn't have the DRS, but is using the ERS. Yagizan trying to go around the outside of the Tarzan corner on Henry. Yagizan, can he make it work on Henry? Oh, Yagizan, can he make... Oh, Yagizan has been spun around by Henry. Was side by side. Looked like a really weird incident between Yagizan and Henry. Oh, how unfortunate. Oh, for Yagizan to spin around after such an amazing comeback. Still in P4 though. But Henry now 2 laps left to get past Frankie. And the impossible suddenly looks possible for Frankie, but now Henry is even closer to the Alpine. Don't know what the stewards will say about the incident between Yagizan and Henry. Can Henry now go for a move? No, he won't. on Frankie going into the Hans Ernst chicane. Ono getting a 3-second time penalty. This is the final opportunity for Henry to go for a move on the Alpine. The Alpine is pushing all the ERS that he has down towards Tarzan. Henry going on board with Henry. Can he go for a move on the Alpine? Henry going down the inside. On the Alpine, can Frankie switch back? No, he can't. Great job by Henry getting past Frankie. And the Alpine 1-2 is no longer here in lap 36 out of 36. Yellow sector 3. I think someone spun around, but that is now resolved. Oh, but Alpine 1-2 gone here at the final lap. Henry overtaking Frankie at the final lap, at the final opportunity that he has. And a great job by Henry. The incident between him and Jagisan has to be looked upon. But on track, Henry will finish in P2. The man that will finish in P1 though, nobody could challenge him today. Especially not when Henry went into the pit lane to change to his new subs. The Alpine driver wins in TFL. Kaya wins the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort. And Henry is coming home to finish in P2. No, he won't! Henry does not have any fuel! And that means Kaya wins from Frankie. It's an Alpine 1-2. Henry did not have any fuel for the main straight. Oh my god. Henry relegated down to P3 in the end. Kaya and Alpine, Kaya with Alpine and Frankie take a 1-2 finish in Zandvoort. Don't know why Henry suddenly got a 20-second time penalty. Don't think that is something that should have happened. Mitch now coming over the line to finish the race. Couldn't have didn't look at the rest of the finishing positions, but just a bit mesmerized by the end result there. Well, Kaya, great job by him, winning the Dutch Grand Prix from Alpine 1-2, leading home teammate Frankie. Also Henry making a great last lap overtake on Frankie, but losing out after having no fuel. Well, there you have it. Kaya winning the Dutch Grand Prix from Frankie. Jagisan in P3. Then it's Luc in P4. P5 for Borrell. P6 for Blackbox. P7 for Jerry. P8 Sven. P9 Mika. And P10 for Henry. I think he'll be moved up the grid to P3. But we have to look at that time penalty. Damiano P11. P12 for Mitch. P13 for Arno. P14 for Joey, and those are your finishers. Let's see, can we get Kaya into the party for the interview? And we have to search Kaya now. And list of drivers. So Kaya will now be added to the group. Hopefully for us he'll join this interview now. And still not joining, Kaya. Well, if he is not going to join, unfortunately I have to end the stream. I do think he wants to join. Don't know for sure though. Looks like Kaya is not going to join the interview, so let's stop the broadcast here And now, thank you for watching, everyone, the Dutch Grand Prix, and we'll see you next week once again for round 11. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed.